Hey guys, this is Priyanka Manikandan and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to see about an interesting topic, the Pandyan kingdom according to Marco Polo. The Pandyan kingdom went into decline after the Cholas of Vijayalaya bloodline defeated them in the beginning of 10th century AD. We can say that the Pandyans lived under the shadow of the Chola Empire for about 300 years. Around 1220 AD or earlier, the Pandyans start regaining their strength. They finally destroyed the Cholas, and as of 1279 AD, they reigned supreme in the Tamil region. During the zenith of Pandyan Empire in the late 13th century AD, they were said to be richest empire in the world. The Pandyan Empire was visited by famed traveler Marco Polo in 1293 AD. Now let's take a look at what Marco Polo has said about the Pandyan Empire in his journal. Let's get started. Marco Polo starts by mentioning that the Pandyan kingdom, which was also called as Mabar, is 60 miles west of Sri Lanka. The kingdom was ruled by five brothers. The name of the king is Soundara Pandit Tevar or Sundara Pandit Tevar. Based on the existing studies on Pandya polity, we do know that there will always be five Pandyas ruling, as the ancient kingdom was often divided into five provinces. The chief of Madurai will usually become the king of the empire. They are usually brothers or parallel cousins or even uncles and nephews of the same bloodline. Together, they will be called as Pancha Pandya. After the Pandyas suffered defeat at the hands of Muslim invaders, they retreated south to Tinuveli region. They continued ruling and fighting from there even during the Nayak period. According to some sources, the last of the Pancha Pandyas were based in these five places: Korkai, Kayatar, Tenkasi, Valiur, and Ukiran Kotai. It is the finest and noblest of province in the world. They have fine pearls. The king is worth more than a city's wealth. People wore minimal clothes. The Pandyan king and his subjects are said to wear only loin cloth covering the body from the waist down. Being a European who owned many layers of clothes, Marco Polo could have over exaggerated what he saw. The king is also said to wear many ornaments of gold and precious stones from his neck down to his waist. He also wore gold arm bracelets. The worth of these ornaments is more than a city. The king says 104 prayers every day and repeats the word pakauta, pakauta, pakauta. Perhaps what is it mean is pasupata. We do know that the Pandyans were ardent Savites. In fact, the tutelary deity of the Pandyan royal family is Shiva in the form of Chandrasekhara, with Agastya as their Kulaguru. The king had about 500 wives and his own trusted ladies who will burn themselves if the king dies. Well, what can we expect from an extremely wealthy king? He would definitely spend on harem and also to spread his genes. The king's bodyguard will commit suicide if the king dies. This was a common practice in ancient Tamilagam. It is called Senchorukandan. Usually, goats will be slaughtered in ritual practices and the blood of the animal will be mixed with boiled rice. This will then be distributed by the king to his selected group of bodyguards. Should the king die in the battle, the bodyguards will commit Navakandam and join their master in their afterlife. The empire spends a lot of money on horse purchase, more than 2,000 horses each year. The Pandyans imported the horses from the Arabs. For some reason, they were not good in breeding horses, so they ended up spending money in importing these animals, especially from the use of cavalries. Criminals were allowed to commit Navakandam. Sati was common. Pandyans, including their king, obeyed the law. Pandyans plays a very high importance on law and justice. Criminals were given the option to sacrifice themselves by offering the death to the deity of choice. Such criminals will be paraded and there will be announcement that criminal has offered himself to a particular deity. He will then be given 12 knives or daggers to use for the ritual suicide. Those who lent money were allowed to draw a circle around those who borrowed and demand for assurance of replacement. It is said that the king himself went through his when a merchant who lent him money suddenly drew a circle around him and his horse. People pray to ox and don't eat beef. However, there is a community that eats beef from dead cows or ox. They are called as Govis. This is not supporting at all. The Pandyan land is the land of Jallikattu. Cows and bulls are venerated. Southern Pandyan territories like Tirunelveli is popular for the worship of the guardian deity Madan, who is also known as Madasami or Sudale Madan. While some may mistake him for Shiva, Madan is actually Nandi. The Govis mentioned by Marco Polo may refer to the pariahs. They don't usually slaughter the cow or bull. However, if the animals die out of a natural or accidental death, they may consume its flesh. They apply cow dung on houses. They grow only rice and no other wheat. The soldiers battled naked. Marco Polo did mention that the soldiers use lance and shield during the battle, that they are mostly naked. Perhaps the ancient Pandyan warriors preferred to fight naked like a Spartans, or they have could have worn animal or minimal clothing with almost no armor, and Marco Polo probably just exaggerated it. The Saracens were butchers. Pandyan citizens bathe twice a day. They eat with their right hand. Everyone have their own drinking vessel and they do not touch the vessel or of others vessel with their mouth when they drink. Looks like Pandyans were very hygienic. Saracen is the term used for Arab Muslims. Does not allow drunkards and seafarers to become guarantors. Well, it makes some sense because those who are drunkards cannot be trusted with their words, and seafarers will not be around at all the times. During a rainy season, rain during June, July, and August, people can tell a person's character by looking at the face and body. People knew how to interpret omens. People believe in astrology. There was little rain in the Pandyan country. The Pandyans had a good water management system. They built water tanks to store and channel water. The art of predicting a person's character by looking the facial features or facial feature is known as Samudrika Lakshana. The people also believed in omens. For example, if someone starts a journey and suddenly hears a sneeze, he may pause for a moment or cancel the journey. As per Polo's journal, we also know that astrology played an important role in the lives of people. Natal chart will be drawn when a child is born. Boys leave house when they are 13. Young boys are considered as adults when they reach 13. They are expected to fend for themselves. They will be given some goats or money equivalent and will be expected to earn money via trade. They are no longer the responsibility of the parents when they are 13. Shark charmers help in pearl drivers. One of the things which caught the interest was the mention of shark charmers. They are called Kadal Katti in Tamil. They will charm the sharks so that it does not attack the divers when they dive into the sea to look for pearls. Apparently, they use some mantras to do this. Some fishermen and pearl divers of the Pandyan nation depended on the service of these charmers. So these were some of the interesting facts about the Pandyan dynasty according to Marco Polo. Following a series of attacks on from the Muslim invaders, the Pandyan Empire finally ended up in around 1333. The Madurai Sultanate was then established. It lasted for about 43 years. During this time, the Pandyans shifted to Tirunelveli and ruled from there. So this was all about Pandyan dynasty, guys, their rituals and what they used to follow. Hope this was interesting. Thanks for watching, guys.